G'day ladies and gents, sorry if the lighting's a bit off on this one. I will get this GoPro mounted very quickly. We're gonna head over to the lathe. Got a piece here, we're gonna be turning a ring box from it, bit of snap and rattle cast in some blue pearlescent resin. Pigment from Eye Candy pigments. You can pick that up at Carbotech. I'll have a link, probably not down below in this video, but there will be links in my other videos if you wanna check it out. So, ideally, the whole point of this live stream is just to test the quality of the live stream function on this GoPro. Brand new GoPro, haven't done this before. So if you can leave me comments, let me know what the visual quality is like, what the audio quality is like. It says I am streaming at 1080p, so it should be all right, but who knows? I can't watch this while I'm doing the live. So I'm relying on you guys to let me know in the comments what you think of this. Is it decent? So, give me a second, I'm gonna get this GoPro mounted up, maybe a little bit shaky while I do that, but hopefully it'll be clear once we're ready to go. All right, that looks about right. You guys can see everything there. So I'm just gonna run this live. I'm not sure how long this piece is gonna take me. Hopefully we get to the end before the live stream gets ridiculously long. If it is taking a while though, I will cut it off and I'll post up some pictures on my Instagram and Facebook, so make sure you follow me there if you don't already. Now, I didn't take the mold, which is just a plastic cup. I didn't take it out of the mold because I didn't put mold release in, so I'm just gonna turn that cup off and then we'll get to shaping this piece. Give me a second to get my helmet sorted and I'll be right with you. All right, just about ready to kick off. I just want to make sure that everything is going to plan. Yes, it looks like we are live, so let's do this. Well, that's a good start. Took a nice little chunk out of my finger. Let's get rid of that cup, eh? One little touch of the chisel and she exploded. All right, mold off. That was easy enough. Be careful, plastic cups, dangerous bits of gear. So because this is a ring box, I'm only going to be actually using this segment in the middle here. That's where we're going to get our piece from. I cast it a little bit bigger on purpose just so I had some room to mount it. I wasn't quite sure how I was going to mount it when I cast it, so I just gave myself that extra leeway. Just about down to shape. I've got to take a little bit more off, and then we can look at hollowing this thing out. I just want to get rid of this little patch of resin there, just so this is all solid wood. I think that's going to look best. So very close. All right. All right, so I've got the piece to the basic shape now. I'm gonna sand the outside and then we're gonna cut the lid off. Then we can hollow it out. So let me just grab some sandpaper. We'll get right back to it. All right, so I'm going to jump in and use the Custom Creations. I'm not sure, I think that way is probably readable for you guys. Custom Creations Grit, Custom Grit, step 1 and 2. This is step 1. If you guys want to try this out, there's a 20% discount code JND20. You can check out his website. Again, it'll be linked in some of my other videos. It's really good stuff though. I used this as the finish on my last YouTube project, the couch table. So if you want to see what it looks like, you can check it out there or stick around here. Now, using both of these grit pastes takes the effect up to as if you were sanding to 100,000 grit, which is just absolutely insane. I'm pretty sure you can't even buy sandpaper that fine, so it's a pretty impossible finish really, and it's so easy to use. One thing to note though, if you use it on a lathe, is to make sure you keep your RPM low. Unlike U-Butte Polish's grit paste, the Triple E, where you go as high as you can, this stuff much prefers a lower speed. Look at that, what was that? That was less than a minute. It's just absolutely beautiful finish from this stuff. Now, I'm not sure on the advice from Custom Creations, but what I will do now is come back with a clean side of the rag and remove any excess before I move on to the second stage, just so that the two don't get combined and it can actually work as it's intended. I don't know if that's necessary. I will have to check with Custom Creations and find out. So just a clean part of the rag. Come through, and as you can see, oh, can you see in this light? You get a little bit of residue there. Just keep going until nothing comes off on the paper towel. Like that. Then we move on to step 2. Get yourself a fresh piece of paper towel, again, so that you're not mixing the two together, because they polish up to different grits. So if you mix them, you're just not going to get the right outcome, really. Probably not right. Oh, I can't even talk. Probably it's not the wrong outcome, but it just won't be as good as it could be. All right. Last step, I'm just going to throw some of the custom wax on there. Again, you can get this on the Custom Creations website. J&D20 will get you 20% off. I'm really liking these products. I've been using them for a while now and they are great. Put that on and then we'll just work that in. This should give it a beautiful shine. Look at that. Awesome shine on that. Okay, now that we've beautifully finished it, we're going to cut the lid off. Just get set back up here. Actually, we'll jump onto this live. Let's turn the volume down, eh? Chili Man, g'day. Michaela, Nat. All right, how are yous? Sound is good, that's awesome. Thanks for letting me know that. Everyone hit the thumbs up, thanks Chili Man. I don't think Infinity is here. Flick him a message for me. Tell him to come over. All right, let's get back into this. If you're on the live, say g'day. I will stop and check and talk to you when I can. Just contemplating my lid design. If you guys follow me on YouTube, you know I don't really plan this stuff very well. I just sort of execute it as I go. So, just trying to work out the best lid design. I guess it's not so much a lid design as it is the function of the lid and how it's going to lock in. So for this one, I think I'm going to leave a tenon on the bottom of the lid so that it can press into essentially a mortise in the container. My last few that I've done, I've actually left a very thin tenon on the container itself that's pressed into a mortise on the lid. But given that this is a ring box, I sort of want to keep the internals of it as small as possible. So by having that tenon on the lid, that'll reduce the space inside so the ring has less ability to move around really when it's in there. That's the theory anyway. So, get a bit off, and we need to produce a tenon. just need to touch this parting tool up a little bit. How that feels. We seem to be having a bit of separation between the wood and the resin down there, which is giving me a bit of flex. I don't want to lose this piece off the lathe, so I'm just going to take this quite gently. I'm not really trusting this crack here with the sidewoods pressure, so I'm going to take a saw and cut the lid off. It shouldn't be an issue when we're hollowing because the pressure's coming inwards, but hitting it with a parting tool, it's just vibrating, and I can see this crack here. It really doesn't look friendly. There we have it, lid parted off. Do a bit of cleanup on this, but we'll get this hollowed out first, I think. So Alright, just bear with me guys, I've got to switch over some tooling. Then I'll jump back in the comments, so if you've got any questions or anything, just flick them into the comments and I can answer them. So this here is a Jacob's chuck. It's a drill chuck that goes into the tailstock of the lathe. Allows me to put drill bits, Forstner bits, all of those sort of things into my tailstock. Works in the opposite way that a drill works really. With a drill, it's your chuck that's spinning on the lathe, your piece spins and you bring a stationary chuck up to your piece. Just allows you to really bulk hollow in a sense. You can hollow out the center. When you're turning, the center of a piece that you're hollowing is the slowest moving and therefore the most difficult really to remove. So by using a Forstner bit or a drill bit, it really just allows you to remove that stuff easily. Now, here's something you don't see me doing very often. Actually measuring. So I probably want to go to 15 mil. 8.5. Alright, so that's taken the majority of the waste out of there. I do have to widen it a bit. As you can see there, we've got the tenon that sticks out of the lid. So once we're finished, that will slot straight in, give it a nice friction fit. Just going to pull out some carbide tools for this one because, as I said, I don't like the tension. It's coming along in this crack and I'm just going to itch away at it very slowly with some carbide cutters, I think. just quickly before I kick this off, I'll jump back into the comments. The finish looks amazing. Yes, it certainly does, mate. Oh, good pickup, Michaela. Sorry about that. So the code for custom creations, the J&D code, is just J&D. Sorry, I get them mixed up. I've messaged Infinity, he might be busy. No worries, Chili Man. I'm sure he'd be with us all if he was free. He's probably off creating, mate. I'd say that's what he is doing. All right. Let's start working away and hollowing this out. Now the key with this is just to constantly stop and check your fit, because if you go half a mil too big, it's basically done and dusted. There's not much you can do to fix it. So, as you can see there, it fits in at the top, but it gets a little bit tight towards the bottom. Oh no, might never be coming back out. But that basically means that there's a taper in there at some point. Oh, she's stuck. There we go. That's one way to do it. So I'm going to take a little bit more from the inside but not touch the top, because she's fitting, unless the taper is, the taper may actually be along here. All right, let's take a little bit more off. Yep, shouldn't have done that. Lost that tight squeezing fit now, as I was saying. So, I'm gonna have to try and come up with some sort of fix for that. Just wondering if I need to hollow this down anymore. Probably go a little bit deeper. This is actually for an engagement ring. I don't know how big the diamond is, so I don't know how much room we need to have in there, but the last thing I want is for it not to fit. So I will take that down a little bit more, and then we'll get to finishing the inside. Okay, I think we're good there. I'm just going to give this a quick sand, throw some finish on it. Again, if anyone new's jumped on, got any questions, just throw them in the comments. As soon as I've done the sanding, I'll jump into the comments and have a bit of a look, answer any questions that you've got. Just a very light sanding in there. Same three-step on this one, finishing process. Got the step 1 and step 2 of the grit paste, and then I'll throw a bit of wax on there. I have just recalled that the customer actually wanted me to do some custom engraving, wood burning on the outside. So that's going to be a smoky expedition with finish already being applied. Should be interesting. I probably won't do that on this live stream though. We'll just get this finished up because I think we're pushing an hour so far. Okay, that's step 1. A little bit of step 2. Always use too much finish. Always. Okay, that's looking awesome. Put a little bit of wax in there. Alright, and that is the piece finished up. We just need to sort out the inside here. Gonna have to give that a quick sand, flush it off. Then we've got to part it off. I've got to put my brand on the bottom and I've got to sand that off too. So, a little bit of work left there. However, none of that work is on the lathe. So, amazingly, let me just get this GoPro off here. So, amazingly, I think we're under an hour. What's the GoPro say? 56 minutes. Under an hour for a live stream, which I feel is pretty adequate. So, I'm going to leave you guys here. Thanks a ton for, actually, before I go, let me double check. See if anyone's left me any comments or anything that they want answered. What have we got here? Yes, it was a bit too snug, Michaela. Unfortunately, made it a bit too loose. Whoops. Black rubber seal. Yes, I will have a look at that and see if I can come up with something that will sort it out. You could flock it if you've got some. I don't have any flock. Carbotech don't sell flock. I've been on their back to get it in. Timbercon have it. It's something I really want to play with, and it probably would work for this application, I think, as well. Really good. It looks great on the big screen. Awesome. I'm stoked that the camera quality is good. I got a good wife. She got me this GoPro for Christmas, so that's pretty awesome. It's proving really cool. I used it a bit in my last build. I actually attached it to my track saw, which was really cool. But yeah, anyway, that's enough for me. We're about to hit an hour, so I'm going to sign off before we get there. I'll give you a close-up of what we've accomplished. She's looking rather nice in there. I've got to burn some Viking symbols along the outside here, but that looks really nice. So eye candy pigments I used in there, and a lid there as well. That looks wicked. All right, guys, thanks for checking this out. I really appreciate each and every one of you and all your support. I'll be back. I've got a couple of videos coming out. I've got to film one before I go back to work, and I've got to edit two. So should be some more content coming out on this channel very soon. Keep in touch, Instagram, Facebook, Patreon. I'm really focusing on Patreon now. I'm gonna start building that up. So if you do wanna support me on Patreon, you can check that out. There is a link, maybe not in this description. I'll have to sort out my live descriptions, but in my other videos,